All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first ever and possibly only ever Ditch Rich podcast. It's a pretty special week with the Wisconsin game coming up, specifically, not because Wisconsin is any good or this game is important, really, in any football sense, but because it is Grateful Ducks themed, and which is kind of a insane Venn diagram for myself and for my three esteemed guests here. My brother Peter, my cousins AJ and Andy. We are lifelong Ducks, all four of us, and also fortunate enough to have found the music of the Grateful Dead. Um, and today we're just gonna take a little bit of time, talk a little bit about the Ducks, talk a lot about the Grateful Dead, and maybe explain why Autzen Stadium is going to be filled with ton of tie-dye, probably more tie-dye than usual at the very least. If you don't know me, I write a Substack called Ditch Rich. We talk duck football, pop culture, a lot of other random things that I throw in there. But I often reference the conversations that I have with these fellows all throughout the week. My cousin Andy, as he's noted down there, is basically the cousin Sal to my Bill Simmons, and definitely gets a lot of play in the blog. On top of being a Duck since the Stone Age, I'm also fortunate enough to have found the music of the Grateful Dead almost 15 years ago. I was watching the series finale of Freaks and Geeks, where Linda Cardellini goes off and follows the Grateful Dead instead of going to science camp or whatever. And I heard that music, and now I've followed that music has followed me, and I've followed it from cover bands in basements to the Las Vegas Sphere to Golden Gate Park, and mostly with all these guys right here. And I'm lucky enough to share the love of the Ducks and the love of the Dead with these three right here, and with these three right here. Anyone who's unlucky enough to read Ditch Rich hears me enough, though. So why don't y'all introduce yourselves? And they all know you're diehard Ducks, so maybe tell them a little bit about your life and love with the Dead. AJ.
All right, yeah, I'm James's cousin AJ. I was just learning how to play guitar in maybe 2015 when I had a crush on a girl who was a pretty big John Mayer fan. So naturally, I started to try and learn some John Mayer songs on the guitar. And I was going on YouTube trying to learn some stuff, and everything I was seeing at the time was like insane John Mayer Dead & Co. solo. And I had no idea who Dead & Co. was. And so I just would listen to the solo and be like, maybe I can play that. And so I'd click on it and I'd be like, okay, this is something different and kind of out of this world. So it was kind of just something in the background, and over time it just kind of kept sticking out to me. So I kept listening, and after a few years, it was more of an obsession with Dead & Co. and the Grateful Dead than it was with more of the John Mayer stuff I've been learning. And James was in on it too. And so when they came to Autzen Stadium in 2018, I went with my parents and Emily, my wife, who was the girl who was a big John Mayer fan. So ever since that show and those years, we've been trying to go to every single concert we could and listen to their music just about every day. So that's kind of my story.
And now you are definitely the person who will pick up the guitar and treat us to a live Dead show on command. So we appreciate that.
Of course.
Andy, why don't you let them know? Oh, no. Hold on. Peter, let them know.
You set the order. You have to stick to it. Okay. I'm Peter, AJ's cousin, James's brother, and also Andy's cousin. Like James, I first really knew about them after Freaks and Geeks, but I did not dive in like he did right away. I was aware and knew all the hits. Well, to me, I consider them the hits. I later found out they only really ever had one hit, but New Ripple, Fire on the Mountain, things like that. And the big thing was a couple summers ago, James finally got me to go to one of the cover bands at the zoo, and Jerry Garcia birthday band playing in the band for like 25 minutes, and I came in and out, and I was like, oh, this song's cool, and a couple others. So it was kind of just chipped away for a couple of years, and then Austin was trying to figure out what he wanted to do for his bachelor party a couple of years ago, and luckily they were playing at the Sphere. And so I knew I had to go all in. I had to just listen nonstop until it worked. Because if James and AJ were this big into it, then I knew it was worth it. And I would basically just walk around, listen to pretty much everything they sent me, everything that the Grateful Dead has to offer. The catalog is vast. And then heard Broke Down Palace, and I think I listened to it 30 times one day.
Sounds about right.
And
but we lost you for a second. Oh no, the palace broke down. He's on a heater too.
He's cooking.
We'll get him back. We will get him back. Andy, while Peter is frozen here, let's oh, Peter's
There he
back.
is.
when did I cut out? Could you hear me at all?
Right after you said you listened to Broke Down Palace 30 times in one day, which honestly, those are rookie numbers. We got to pump those numbers up.
To be honest, it was 42, but I didn't want it to seem like it was too much. That's a lot of time out on your hands. But I'll wrap it up. Yeah, heard Broke Down Palace, and then I felt like I just got it. And the Dead & Co. version and the Grateful Dead version were my 1 and 2 on like Spotify Wrapped that year. And then obviously going to the Sphere, seeing them live. It was nice to know some of the words, which I like to sing along. So that was like a main driver in me learning everything, or trying to. And then once we had such a good time the first night, scavenging for tickets on Reddit from whale watchers for $80, and going a little bit late to the show the second night, but hearing Mississippi Half Step in an empty Sphere concourse, and just being like, oh, we're about to have the second greatest night of our life after we just had the first. So yeah, I was hooked, and still am, and still on the lookout for all the cover bands, and love going to shows with you guys all the time. So it's my story.
Yeah, man. This like the music just kind of changes seriously when you see it live, and that's probably a pretty similar story between you and Andy, like getting to like be there physically and seeing the interplay and seeing the culture too, like seeing people in the lot and people in the concourse and people on Reddit on a boat, a whale watching boat in Vancouver that I hit up on Reddit, and just like just sent me the tickets and trusted that we would pay them. That's just quite the adventure. So
and he followed up to see how good of a time you had.
Yeah, he followed up, and I messaged him again one time thinking, oh, maybe he's got tickets to this one, because he seemed like a guy who just bought a handful of weekends and wasn't sure which weekend he would go. But yeah, stayed relatively in touch for a random Canadian stranger on Reddit, which is a good story from Reddit, that's for sure. Andy, let us know how you found the Dead.
So I think I have similar trajectory to Peter, or at least the timeline on it. My first memory of anything Grateful Dead was sometimes I'd take my dad's iPod. I don't know what year this was, but we were still living in Rhode Island, so 2006 maybe. And I'd listen to Casey Jones and Blister in the Sun by the Violent Femmes. And I don't know, like I just loved that song. Like back then, maybe it was because it was, talking about drugs. I don't know. It was weird. It was like rebellious kind of thing. Like this song's good, but that's my first memory. And then since from there to like 2018, honestly, didn't probably listened to a single Dead song on purpose. I'm sure I heard them and McMinimans or wherever you go, there's just, they're everywhere. But didn't give much thought to it. And then they came to Eugene in 2018. I didn't go, living in Eugene at the time, just wasn't hooked on it yet. I remember when you guys all went down in 2023 to San Fran. I thought, oh, that's kind of fun, not really because of the concert, just because like I'd love to go on a road trip with my cousins and brother, and it was kind of FOMO for that reason, not really the concert. And then AJ's bachelor party came along. I tried to listen to some songs. Everyone sent me a few because I'm like Peter. I'd like to know some of the words, but just couldn't really. I was like, why is this song 25 minutes long? But I tried to get into it, and wasn't really working out. So I figured, it would be fun either way, even if I don't know the words. Go there, have a good time, and then once you get there in person, I'm sure it's not just the Sphere, but once you see them playing all this music live, and I think that set list specifically was perfect for my first show. It started off with I Need a Miracle, pretty easy song to start singing along to if you never heard it before. There was The Wait, Mama Tried. We got a Dark Star, which was new, but it was cool to get that. And I mean, down the list all the way to Broke Down as their last song before the encore. That's like Peter, I probably listened to that song too much. But that's kind of how it really started, was after that concert. For whatever reason, seeing it live was what it took to kind of get me hooked. And since then, we've been to, a couple more at the Sphere, plenty of cover bands down at, Denton G, little basements in downtown Portland. But yeah, certified hooked, and can't really get enough of it at this point.
Yeah, and
I remember Dad's iPod. It was what was it? Casey Jones and Mr. Jones.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
I remember those two. Those are the only songs I remember from the iPod.
Yeah. Feature.
And Andy, you saw something in the Sphere. When you went back the next year, you saw something up in the Sphere.
I did. What did you see? So at the time, my wife was probably 15 weeks pregnant. We just had our 12-week ultrasound. And there's a part, I don't know what time, it might be like before drum space or maybe somewhere in that, because I know we were sitting down when it happened. Mm-hmm. And at the Sphere, there's haptic seats, so you can feel the vibrations of the drums when they're playing them. And there was this kind of galaxy image. I don't know if it come through that well.
Oh yeah.
But you kind of see that, and like maybe just not really. Maybe that's just some galaxy up there. Who knows? But the previous week we had our ultrasound, and that was the picture of the ultrasound. And so immediately when I saw that little figure up there, I was like, "That's a baby." And I told Peter, I was like, "That looks like a baby," and he's like, "No, it doesn't. Like you're kind of crazy." And I pulled out my picture, and we were both just like, "Whoa!" Like, yeah. So that was a weird, kind of cool experience. Maybe had a few beers that helped bring that image to my mind, but it was. I'll still remember that to this day. It was really cool.
Yeah, the Sphere will do that to you. And I tell anyone, even if they're not like even dead curious, like if you even kind of like an act that's happening at the Sphere, like you gotta go, because it kind of envelops you. And there's also so much on the side that's not the center of what you're supposed to be focusing on, that you can kind of like peer off to the side and be like, whoa, that's my child.
That's my child.
Like, and then talking about like us four, but we also have another cousin, Michael, who was out at Autzen in 2018, has been in plenty of cover bands, is a Dead fan in his own right. And he actually had a little message for you, Andy.
Oh, shoot.
Andy is a bandwagon deadhead. He's only liked them for 1 week. Andy is my favorite cousin. except for AJ, James, and Pete. Love you, Andy.
Jeez.
That's
So
hilarious. I
That's
remember we
awesome.
were at the beach and Michael was singing that, kind of just came to his mind. And then Spotify was on the TV, and it was a picture of Dead and Co. and Bob Weir was on there, and older looking gray beard Bob Weir. And I asked Michael, who was that, and he had no idea. So just saying,
That's damning.
like I'll say, yeah, I picked up in the last 4 or 5 years, maybe a bandwagon, whatever. But got no Bob.
At least you know about where it is.
And
Yeah.
anyone on the bus at any time is welcome, appreciated. We will evangelize anyone at any time. But had to get Michael in here. Had to let him chime in. He needed to get his little Sugar Magnolia Weird Al parody in there for sure. And then kind of wrapping it all together, obviously I've mentioned how it's been pretty fortunate that us four already great friends, us four already loving the Ducks for as long as we have together. And now kind of in these last couple years, like fully on board with the Dead has been just another like hit of steam, wind behind the sails of the ship of fools, so to speak. And we are fools, and everyone will see that throughout this podcast. But it's been really cool that we've kind of had this next life. And then, yeah, we mentioned, or you guys mentioned when AJ, his wife Emily, and then myself and my wife Audrey went down to San Francisco. We drove down to see them at Oracle Park. We saw them night one, which was an insane show. And then we were there the next day, but we didn't go to the second show, but we drove around and walked around Oracle Park, and we could hear the show from the outside. It's little stories like that kind of either ascend, like when we went to San Francisco for Grateful Dead 60 at Golden Gate Park for less than 24 hours. Shout out to Andy and Cam for putting us up for the night. And like that kind of stuff, that's half the fun. It's very similar to when us four sent it to go to the Pac-12 championship game in Vegas, just kind of 17-hour trip, drive straight through the night, and then watch the Ducks unfortunately show up flat and lose to Kalen DeBoer once again. And we'll get to some of our conversations, Andy, that we had in that car ride.
Play that video. Okay.
But and then maybe just a quick note on why the hell the Ducks are doing a Grateful Dead night. Like they're if the Grateful Dead are obviously like their home is in San Francisco, and specifically the Haight-Ashbury. If they had a second home, it would probably be on any marijuana farm anywhere in the world. But if they had a third home, it would be Eugene, Oregon, I think, and kind of a place that was already tie-dyed, is already kind of hippie Oregon Country Fair in its own right, but also has a deep history with the band itself specifically. And we're going to put you on to a whole lot of music in this show, but this isn't that deep of a cut. But August of 1972, the show in Veneta, which actually saved Nancy's Yogurt and the Springfield Creamery, was thrown together by the Kesey family. That is an insane live show. And if you're Oregon curious, I think Andy, this was like, and probably for all of us, this is a lot of our kind of first foray into a full live show beginning to end, and kind of going like just hitting it. It helps that it's green and yellow tie-dye on the cover on Spotify, and you're like, all right, it's Veneta, like it's a place I'm familiar with, like I can get behind this. But there's also just great like music in it. There's a lot of Cowboy Bobby, more than you might remember. There's an insane Bird Song in there, and then probably the best China writer that has probably ever been put to tape, and just all some great like it was a really hot day, so you have a lot of the kind of interplay, the talking. Oh, it's really hot out here, or the kitty tent. Bob was saying, the kitty corral. And then if you don't know where the kitty corral is, and then Bob chimes in, he says, "If you don't know, you don't want to know."
That's my favorite part. Then they just start playing.
There's and oh, the son's doing some mighty weird things to our instrument. Just you kind of get a lot of personality from the band that, and they aren't a band that is going to get up there and talk and explain songs, or like this song is going to be about this, like how John Mayer might usually do in his live shows. But it's a really good and when I post this on Ditch Rich, I'll put a link to a couple of shows that we mentioned here and a couple of the songs we mentioned here, just so we can evangelize any of you. But they played that Veneta show, and then they played countless times at Autzen Stadium, specifically on the weekend of Peter and my parents' wedding. They were also banned from Eugene for a while. I think they allegedly sprayed LSD over the crowd in mist form, or somebody did while the show was happening. So that'll do it. But I think they played Bob Dylan and the Dead played at Autzen. It's just, you're going to see a lot of that kind of flashback in all the hullabaloo around this theme, as well as sort of like tie-dye, dancing duck, dancing bear kind of iconography. And it just seems like it's a really fun fit, and really specifically a fun fit for us. And I'm excited to see what the Dead and the Ducks do to kind of together. And it's all kind of icing on the cake at this point, just to kind of get this meeting of our two worlds. And now we're going to talk a little bit of football. Come up with a couple of segments here. Our first segment I call Duck Dead Duos. And for anyone who doesn't know, the Grateful Dead, a lot of the jokes you're hearing reference to 25-minute songs and this and that. And they're known to play a lot of songs with specific other songs, and kind of these medleys that they always play together, or kind of create new medleys where they go in and out of multiple songs. And so I thought we could compare a duo, or two or three different Duck players, to a Grateful Dead medley, a famous one, or maybe our favorite one, or maybe some deep cuts in here. So we're going to compare your favorite Duck duo to your favorite Dead song combo. AJ, what do you think? What do you think you got here?
Yeah, I'm probably a bad one to go first, because I definitely didn't do this the way that you just described it. But I came up with a few short ones, because I knew I wasn't doing this right. So I pretty much just compared some people. So I put disgraced Oregon football coach Mario Cristobal. He's touched gray because of his graying hair. But Sabrina and Hronis they love each other, because
that's good.
They love each other.
That's
and
good.
Then I put playing in the band at Veneta 1972 is former Oregon basketball player Bull, because that song is always longer than you think, and when you see that in person, it's a lot longer than you remember. So those are my three.
That's good. That's good stuff right there. Bull. And especially I do remember, Andy, I sent you, because the longest playing in the band is like 48 minutes. Mm-hmm. And they actually played it at
Seattle,
in Seattle at the Huskies basketball arena. Fuck the Huskies, by the way. And it's part of like a whole lot longer show. And I think I sent it to Andy. I've never listened to all 48 minutes of it, but Andy, I think you did put in the work and you listened to all of it. So kudos to you. But yeah, that's a bull length jam for sure.
Speaking of bull, Andy, do you remember where we were when they lost to Texas Western?
No.
We were at World Pies at a Grateful Dead cover band, and you and I were falling asleep.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
We had just lost, ranked in the country. We had Bull, this mammoth of a man, and yeah, we did not have as much fun as James and AJ, but
yeah, before we really knew what was going on. But that was funny.
Exactly.
It was like those two were in it, dancing, twirling around, and me and Peter were about to take a nap.
Yeah,
The Dead and the
we were
Ducks.
looking at the ESPN Gamecast and just bummed out that we just lost. So
The Dead and the Ducks have been intertwined in all of our stuff, even before all of us were in on it.
Hand
Peter,
up, not the first time I fell asleep at a cover band.
yeah, true. You did at the Aladdin Theater. We saw Garcia birthday band. You went up and I think it was set break that you fell asleep, though.
Not a good reason.
Primarily. At least it wasn't during drums. Pete, what duck duo did you have come to mind?
okay, so I followed the prompt, like AJ, but I do think AJ probably got to a better spot than me. But regardless, I did estimated profit into Eyes of the World, specifically on Dick Pics Volume 3, Pembroke Pines. James will link it maybe. And to the duck duo that I did to compare with those would be Marcus Mariota. Ever heard of him? Into Byron Marshall. Bet you didn't see that coming.
That's great.
Okay, so here's a little reasoning. Marcus is quite literally the Duck fans' prophet. He's the prince who was promised. He's our idol. He's our king. Like an angel standing in a shaft of light, rising up to paradise. I know I'm gonna shine. Enough said. Also, he is our angel. Check the Voss family Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Doesn't lie. And then B Marsh. Well, I guess you can chime in after. B Marsh. He was not the first person you'd think of to pair with Marcus for sure. He had a lot of weapons, but Byron Marshall as a running back, 1,000-yard rusher. Next year switches to wide receiver, 1,000-yard receiver. Not one of the most skillful players of Marcus's era, but always smooth, always reliable. And in my mind, Eyes of the World might not be, one of the top picks people think of when they go to a Dead show. It's not, a Terrapin maybe or some others, but whenever you hear it, you're always like, oh yeah, of course. Like, I'm really glad they played this. They always crush it. Just like B Marsh, a lot of versatility and always reliable. So
that was literally my thought when you said Byron Marshall. Oh yeah. What the hell? Like, and I also didn't do an estimated eyes. Like I didn't even put that on because I was like, that's Peter's territory. Like,
good. I do love. Yeah, estimated was another one that got me into just a whole another level of Dead stuff. So yeah.
And I've been working. AJ was very kind enough, very, very kind to gift me an old amp of his that has quite the Qtron effect on it, and I've been playing around with that a lot, trying to get estimated. And wah wah wah. And we'll get.
But I was going to ask, does Qtron translate to Wubby? That's what
Precisely.
In layman terms.
Precisely. Yes. Do you have any other duos, or that's your?
I just went all in on one.
Hey, I figured it. Estimated eyes. That's Peter territory, and also I do like. I don't know. Maybe you have shifted my perspective on eyes, but I think eyes is up there ultimately, especially with live. Live.
To me, it is, and I think to us maybe, but yeah, I guess I'm more assuming other people's opinions a little bit.
Yeah, who knows? I think Andy is literally the only person who has ever overlapped with Jerry, like Jerry's life, and that was like by 2 months or something.
Like 2 weeks.
A few weeks. Oh, welcome back, Jerry. Like, you are Jerry. Andy, let's hear your duos.
So I don't have multiple duos, but I do have one trio.
Mhm.
So mine is Help on the Way, Slip, Franklin Sour is the trio. And for Help on the Way, I'm comparing that song to Bo Nix coming in 2022 after a really down year previously with the quarterback before. As far as quality of play goes, James, everyone knows who I'm talking about, but Help was on the way in the form of Bo Nix. Really good, never disappoints. And you kind of, it's a good song. Slipknot, Dylan Gabriel, a little funky, not really exactly sure what you're going to get, but he always gets you there. So except for the Rose Bowl, but ignore that. And then I'm comparing Dante to Franklin's Tower. My favorite one of the three. And by the time you get Franklin's Tower starts playing, I don't know, like I get a little jumpy, you get excited. Could it be the best part of the trio? Like it's looking pretty good, but Bo and Dylan both set a high standard. So I guess we'll just see where it plays out as far as Dante goes. But yeah, that's my trio.
That's great. And it's definitely like the catch, like Dante does seem like he might be the catchy part of of those three, especially he's getting all that talk. Last week, maybe it cooled off a little bit. He looked a little more like UCLA Dante than he had before that, like at State Penn. But this yesterday at Rutgers, he looked pretty dang good. I'll start mine with I was also included Dante. So this is my duck duo is Dante to Decorian. And I actually said it was that they were Dear Mr. Fantasy to Hey Jude. Dear Mr. Fantasy, like Dante is like play us a tune, like he's our Mr. Football, like he's everything kind of hangs on him because he's a quarterback in college football. So everything hangs on the quarterback. And then throwing it to Decorian, like, and just the chorus of Hey Jude, like that's the key part there. It's like, it's not like they go to Dear Mr. Fantasy and then they go down to like piano and like Hey Jude. No, we're just doing the na, 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 na. And that's all Decorian seems to be. He just seems to be like the chorus of like the most essential song ever written. And already like in 7 games, Decorian, I feel like you just start saying like Decorian or you just see him out there and you're like, yeah, he's going to be one of the greatest Ducks of all time. And so that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking there. And then I also, as a China Ryder fan, I said, China Ryder is Kenyon Sadiq and Kenyon Sadiq because it's all one song. That's
good.
And clearly, like Indiana, we were pretty anemic on offense, and we really hadn't been that incredible the week before, even against Penn State. But the answer yesterday was one, just run the ball. Like run the ball to throw the ball, but also just feed the best player on your team. And that's Kenyon Sadiq, whether that's running back, deep passes, short passes, like whatever, however you can get the ball in his hands, that's going to be the way to win or at least get things moving. And so, yeah, China Cat Sunflower. And I know you Ryder. Again, I'll plug 1972 Veneta, but also I love it on Europe 72. And because it's real tight and clean on that one. And it's like I know you Ryder gets super driving. You can hear the snare drum, like really clearly on that. But China Ryder, it's all one song. You really can't play one without the other, or you better not. And that's Kenyon Sadiq as we've been trying to correct ourselves. And then another one I had was, on November 21st, 1973, the band played Mississippi Half Step Toodaloo into Playing in the Band, into El Paso, into Playing in the Band, into Dark Star Jam, into Wharf Rat, back into Playing in the Band, into Morning Dew. This is November 73 in Denver. And then specifically, I said that Bryce Betcher is all of the play-ins in that. because he's everywhere on the field. He's I think he had 10 plus tackles over the last like 4 games. And just every time you look up, you can just assume that it was Bryce Betcher who got the tackle. And just like how Playing in the Band kept popping its head up in that medley.
Like I was gonna try to do something with Dear Mr. Fantasy 2 and Hey Jude, but the Hey Jude was going to be compared to Bo Nix because the original version isn't as good as the other version. So in my trolling analogy, the original Auburn Bo Nix not as good as the Duck one. I think people will agree on that one. And I was going to say the Beatles version is not as good as the Dead version, where they, like James said, just sing the chorus.
But hey, I like it. I like it. No, and hey, the song is about not that the members of the Grateful Dead are all unimpeachable, but the song is about John Lennon being an completely absent father. It's maybe the Beatles shouldn't be celebrated. People are saying.
People have said that.
Oh, I had another one too. I said that Gary Bryant is the Mississippi Half Step outro because you low-key forget it's coming, and then all of a sudden it's awesome, and he's playing like Tez Johnson Jr. Across the Rio Grande. That's Gary Bryant Jr. right there.
Love it.
All right, what's the next one we got? Okay, I called this one "Easy to Love Lanning." And this idea is name a Grateful Dead lyric that also could serve as a Dan Lanning quote. Andy, what do you think? What do you think you got for this one?
Some of these are a little bit of a stretch, maybe, but
that's what we're here for.
We're gonna give it a shot. Let's see. I didn't know if I should include the full quote as Uncle John's Band.
No.
What? I take it. I can go to another one. I'll leave that one for
No. Go for it.
The first days are the hardest days. Don't you worry anymore, because when life looks like easy street, there's danger at your door. The real quote was, because when life looks like easy street, there's danger at your door. I could feel him saying just like, it's not supposed to be easy. You know, if it's easy, then something bad's going to happen. You know, you want adversity, you want iron sharpens iron. I threw the first part in there just because, like, you know, first game of Dan Lanning wasn't great. You know, those are the hard times. But it wasn't his fault. Yeah. But yeah, so I have a couple more, but maybe we should just one at a time so I don't steal someone else's.
A little snake draft. Peter, you seem eager.
Okay. This is one of James's favorite lyrics. I'm not going to sing it, but did you ever awaken to the sound of street cats making love? No, that's not my real answer, but I just wanted to put that in here for James. I should have told Andy to pick a different one because that was exactly mine. Also, I should have chose other ones, but that's on me. I did when life looks like easy street, there is danger at your door. Dan would say that. Don't ever take the easy option. Don't ever take the path more traveled. Embrace the suck. I don't know if he said that, but he probably has. And it's in the same vein as a couple of games ago. I forget which one. He played the Jocko Willink video. The good. If something bad happens to you, good. Didn't get the job you wanted, good. Got injured, good. Whole family burned down in a house fire that was your fault because you forgot to put the screen on the fireplace when you walked to go get more beer at 2 a.m. Good. That kind of so
I did not have a
Manchester by the Sea reference.
I did not have Manchester by the Sea reference on my bingo card, and I'm so happy that you found a way to bring it in.
Yeah, so that's mine.
All right, AJ.
Mine's from Franklin's Tower. If you plant ice, you're going to harvest wind.
That's good.
It's kind of like Dan Lanning talks a lot about, preparation, how they prepare each week. And if you plant ice, you're going to harvest wind. It's kind of like if you don't prepare well, the outcome isn't going to be what you expect. So I can hear him saying that, whether it's before the game or after the game. I think it's a quote about preparation or yeah, if you do the wrong thing, you're gonna get the wrong outcome. So I can definitely hear him saying that one.
Yeah, I'll be curious because he said when this game was announced, like they asked if he was a deadhead at all, and he said no, I'm not a deadhead. But I'll be curious to see if in Ducks versus them, when they do like his slideshow, and he's saying what the theme is for the week, if he references any of this, maybe we'll be right on. Maybe it'll be one of those quotes there, and he's just using Jerry, or like they endure. They've been around for 60 plus years. They outlast everyone. Mine. Let's see. First one I thought of was Casey Jones driving that train high on cocaine.
He just had a lot of zins. All right.
Just had a lot of pumped up. I mean, winning is itself a drug. So I appreciate his energy at all times. The other one I thought of was Jack Straw. We used to play for clicks, and now we playing for wins. We used to play for silver, now we playing for life. We used to play for clicks, now we play for wins. And then in that same vein here, from Dark Star crashes, right? Pouring its light into ashes, right? Reason tatters, right? The forces tear loose from the axis, searchlight casting for faults in the clouds of delusion. Shall we go, you and I, while we can, through the transitive nightfall of diamonds, right?
Could see him saying that.
I was gonna use the transitive nightfall of diamonds. I was like, how do I do this one? But you crushed it, so.
Right?
Yeah, he'll definitely say that. Yeah.
He just has that power. Obviously we're talking like big picture, like we're talking about this psychopath person who is like a master motivator, and he like literally motivates. I have his voice in my head a lot throughout the day when I'm facing like challenges, like what an opportunity. I like have that mantra in my mind, or I find myself like saying right after every word to try to get people to agree with me, or just basically say, no, you already agree with me, right? It's a powerful rhetorical tool, and from a powerful man. So that one's a little goofy. This other one is maybe a little even a little goofier, a little trollier. But we're playing Wisconsin this week. We're 40 minutes in, and we're just really talking about Wisconsin. But Wisconsin's not very good. I wouldn't be surprised if I picked up my phone right now and found out that they fired their head coach. They just got shut out by Ohio yesterday. They have just been ultimately very bad. It's funny that it's like the Wisconsin game is the one that is the Grateful Dead themed one. Big Cat online is a huge Deadhead, and so he'll be watching this game inevitably, and so he's unfortunately going to have to watch his favorite team lose to a team badly while we're wearing tie-dye and like Grateful Dead music is blaring through the speakers. But this next little game I had was called Hell in a Badger. And with a very bad Wisconsin team coming to town, can you compare them to a Dead song or just like anything in the jam band world that maybe you don't like so much, maybe isn't as good? AJ, I think you were thinking on this one.
Yeah. So in my opinion, Wisconsin, they're fish, in my opinion. We're in the same kind of universe, but I don't think they're that good, and I don't really care to watch them. So I'm comparing Wisconsin football to fish.
And we understand.
That's awesome.
We understand Trey. Trey is a absolute beast, and we appreciate everything he's contributed. But we're not looking up. Maybe Peter is searching fish on Spotify, but I don't know if anyone else is.
I like Ocelot. All right. Everyone good songs. That's a good one, AJ.
Thanks.
It is a good one. Peter, what do you think about Wisconsin?
They suck. That's what I think. But James, I forget what all the songs that you named, were playing in the band is kind of in that, but just made me think of, because I was thinking this the other day, Rose Bowl wise, the modern era that we know of Rose Bowls has been almost all one song. We started with Ohio, then Wisconsin, Florida State, Wisconsin, Ohio again. So it's another one for you.
I like it.
But Wisconsin is, without a doubt, if they're not Fish, then they are Dead & Co doing Sunshine Daydream as their closer after they already did Sugar Magnolia to close the first set. And it feels disconnected. They should have just played it with Sugar Magnolia the first time, like they normally do, and like you hear it in most recordings. And it's also disappointing because Bob, after he forgot the lyrics to Sugar Magnolia, also forgot them to Sunshine Daydream. No offense, it doesn't click for him. It's not. He doesn't like it. Stop making him do it. He does it every time I've seen him play it, which obviously isn't a ton. But I think they just don't. He doesn't jive with those lyrics. So, and I think it's apt because everyone in the crowd hears the riff and they're like, "Oh, this is a song I know." Like, I think the first time Andy heard it, that was one of his where he was like, "Oh, I hope they play this. I want to hear this one." You hear the riff and you're like, "Oh yeah, Sugar Magnolia, sweet, I like this." And then you watch the actual performance and you're like, "I'm good. They're not what they used to be. I don't need to hear or watch that ever again." So
it's great work there. I fully agree, and it's something that we've all talked about especially because we were at a Sphere show that had that happen, but was not on my radar when thinking about just how much I did not like Wisconsin and did not like watching Wisconsin. I have no ill will against Wisconsin. We always beat them in the Rose Bowl, so I got no beef with them, but just don't. It doesn't move the needle for me. Just like Sunshine Daydream.
Exactly.
Andy, what you got?
This has nothing to do with. I'm just picking a song, I guess,
Yeah.
to relate, and it has nothing to do with the lyrics. It's just the title, "Loser."
That's great.
That's it. I mean, at the end of it, it says, "I got no chance of losing this time." Don't agree with that, so I'm just strictly going off the title of the song.
That's perfect. They are losers. They've been losing a lot. I maybe this is a little trolly, but Wisconsin is any song written by Brent other than "Easy to Love." No, I kid, mostly because one of the many keyboardists for the Grateful Dead, Brent Midland, absolute virtuoso on the keyboards. Some of my favorite live stuff is from the Brent era. I think in popular Grateful Dead culture, subreddit, whatnot, gets his songs that he wrote get a little bit of hate, or just become the butt of a couple of jokes, just because they don't sound like kind of the more Robert Hunter, Jerry Garcia kind of sprawling lyrics. His definitely have a little bit more. I don't know if pop is the right word, like just like kind of a pop sentiment or pop adjacent sentiment, kind of Springsteen-y, which is usually not an insult, but just doesn't sound like the Dead. And as Dead fans, like Deadheads, know, like if it doesn't sound like something you already like or you already know, they'll reject it immediately, just like John Mayer. But I think I was just trying to fuck with you there a little bit. And then my other thought was that they are like the first set of night one of GD60, but specifically the Nugs mix, where Bob's like Bob's tone on his guitar and also just his playing and singing was just not very good at all. Love him, and we're lucky for every minute we get to listen to him play, even poorly. But yeah, it's just, you're looking at something that, like Wisconsin, like they're big, they're football, they can win 9 games every year or something, and occasionally make it to a Rose Bowl. But man, this is like, we're all just gonna stand here and like, who's gonna say it first that this is not good right now?
The Nugs feed on that seemed a little jacked up from talking to you guys. I don't know. I watched from home and they were there, but like you guys loved Box of Rain, and
Yeah.
at home didn't sound great. But I think there's some weird stuff going on with Nugs. But who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a perfect, like the whole thing wasn't a perfect mix in the field itself. It was just we're coming from the last 4 to 6 shows that all of us had seen. We're all at the Sphere, which is quite an incredible sonic environment. Most people talk about the screen, but the sound is like probably a bigger story in that building. And then we go out into this field, this like gigantic polo field in one of the largest like parks in America on a windy like marine layer day, like right by the water, and the wind's swirling around, and it's just imperfect, which is not something we were used to. So of course it was different. It definitely didn't sound like the Nug stream when we listened to it. It sounded a little quiet, or people were turned down and up in different ways. But yeah, that was a rough re-listen when you played the Nug stream for us.
Sorry.
They fixed it after night 1 for them, I think.
Yeah, sure. I think so too. When we streamed it later. AJ, I forget. Did you say? Oh, you said it was fit. You said they were fish. That's good. So like big picture here, or really, if we want to kind of tie up this game preview a little bit, we definitely still don't know much about this Ducks team, honestly. Like I know that they're very good, and what they did yesterday against Rutgers, like 750 yards of offense is pretty hard to do against air. So like just executionally, and after what we saw against Indiana, we kind of wondered if they could do that against air. Just based on sort of some drop passes, some misreads, that kind of stuff. And so it was definitely reassuring to kind of see the offense click again. Defense kept playing well, I thought, and I wrote this on the blog, but I thought that they were definitely the best part of that Indiana game, and they held up for as long as they possibly could have against just a really good team, probably our next Stanford in Indiana. Just kind of out physicaled us, out coached us, out executed us in so many ways. And after that, after Penn State keeps losing and firing their coach, that game just doesn't feel like a feather in our cap anymore. Our best win is probably Northwestern, 4-2 Northwestern at 9 a.m. Like if we're just to kind of balance that out right now, the Beavers won last night, so maybe that they're a close second. But and we won't know that much after the Wisconsin game either. I mean, I would love to see just kind of the same thing that we saw yesterday against Rutgers. But what do you guys think about this Ducks team? What is the floor and what's the ceiling? Anybody?
I thought the ceiling was, and it still could be, national championship after the Penn State game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, about the beginning of halfway through the fourth quarter, before Penn State came back, I thought that. I did still think it showed guts, even though we tried to choke it away at State Penn. But the Indiana loss, it doesn't. A 2-team playoff or 12-team playoff now. It doesn't sting like the other big losses have. But also, I think it doesn't sting as much because we didn't have high expectations. So a lot of this is gravy, in my opinion. Not the whole season, not like nothing matters. But since we are so young, and the Moors, I think they'll be here at least next year. We'll see about Dante after that. But I still think it's probably Ohio State and everybody else. I think a lot of people are kind of jumbled. So I think that means it'll be a really exciting Big 12 or 12-team playoff. And I don't want the 1 seed anymore. I'm over it. Tried it, didn't like it. So let's try something else. I think the USC and Washington games will be big. I know they both just lost. I mean, they kind of pissed down their legs, both of them. I don't know. Washington got outclassed, but USC should have won.
Oh yeah,
So they'll still be tough. So
they had that momentum, and I'll be interested to see if we have similar weather in. And I'm not usually a weather guy, but if we have similar weather in Eugene to what they were facing in South Bend, and just Maeva can't really throw like he can in like sunny Southern California. And if like Makai Lemon makes stupid plays like he did there, even though I think he's probably like their best player, and they're turning the ball over, I think USC would survive them. But yeah, I think at Washington, if Washington is still just a 2-loss team at that point, that's a loud place to play, and it'll probably be honestly louder than State Penn. I gotta say, it's crazy there. I know Andy and Austin and I were there in 2023, and that was one of the most insane football games I've ever been. AJ, I think that made Emily like football.
Yeah, and I don't feel like ever going there again after losing that game, especially after driving to Vegas to do it all over again. So I'm officially done with traveling to go see the Ducks play Washington.
That's not a bad mantra. I think that's not a bad like plan. And Peter, you mentioned like kind of the big picture of, well, one, that we didn't expect a lot coming into the year, and I do have to remind myself of that. My preseason blog I'm writing, I expect 1 or 2 losses. I expect like make the playoff, but I don't know how much noise we're going to make. We're going to have a young quarterback who's going to have some growing pains. And I had thought that all the way until, scoring 100 points on Oklahoma State and getting Gundy fired. And then doing what we did at State Penn, like then totally like forgot every rational thing I said at the beginning of the year. And just, oh no, the ceiling is the ceiling. We natty kind of thing. But then, and I also thought we have Dante. What's that?
The ceiling is the roof.
The ceiling is the roof. Fair enough. But you mentioned how long we'd have Dante. Andy, you think, or at least a couple weeks ago, you said that we'd just have Dante for this year. Like Dante is for sure gone after this year. What do you think after the last like 2 weeks? What do you think?
Well, I thought that kind of going into the year, because like it's been 2 straight years before this. Successful quarterback running a high power offense, drafted. Dylan wasn't first round, but a drafted quarterback and now an NFL starter. And I kind of was expecting Dante to like plug and just do the same thing. But it's not really the play that really changed my opinion. But part of his decision when he came to Oregon was obviously to sit behind someone and grow and learn, which I thought was a mature, very smart decision. But I heard another comment that he is also pretty aware of the recent success that first-year college quarterbacks have been having in the NFL. Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, like a lot of these guys are not just freshman starter, play their sophomore, junior year, drafted, and immediately have success. They're players who've been in college for years and have more experience, more knowledge. And it sounds like he's aware of that model. So it also wouldn't surprise me anymore, or it wouldn't surprise me now that he stuck around another year just to have a full another year to develop, even if he is projected by a lot of mock drafts to go in the first couple quarterbacks. He's got all the skills. I think he could do it. I think he would get drafted in the first round if he left this year, but it seems like he's trying to make a business decision and staying somewhere where he can learn and develop. I don't know if, Will Stein leaving, if he left after this year, changes that at all. If Dante would want to come back to do that with a new coordinator, no idea, speculating. But I'm not sure. I can see it going either way at this point. Beginning of the year, I really thought, I'm a big recruit guy. This, like, we get a 5-star. Now I don't really, hold my breath when they commit, when they're a sophomore, because college football now until it's signing day, even after signing day with
JKS.
Yeah. And a guy from Oklahoma a couple years ago too, Peyton Bowen.
Yeah.
But yeah, you never know. So, but I was pretty hyped when he committed. He reminded me a lot of Caleb Williams, just that kind of sneaky athleticism, throwing from all the different arm angles, and really elusive kind of when moving around the pocket. But yeah, I don't know. I'd love to have him back. But they're also, I mean, not jumping ahead to next year if he isn't there. I think Autzen Novosad is staying around for a reason. He could have transferred any of these years to go somewhere else and probably be a starting quarterback. But I think it's going to be the same thing. They kind of just pick up right where the previous quarterback left off and kind of keep the train rolling. But yeah, kind of went on tangent there, but yeah.
No, that's exactly what I asked. I asked about the QB, and could the reasons Autzen Novosad has stuck around and not transferred be similar reasons to why Ty Thompson stuck around and didn't transfer?
Could. You never know. But he's a Will Stein guy. I mean, did Will Stein coach at Autzen Novosad's high school back in the day? I don't know. There's some kind of Texas connection there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I don't know if Novosad went to Lake Travis. I think that's where Will Stein was.
If Will Stein goes to Penn State, and I don't know. Not saying, not going to speculate on things, but if Will Stein left, I could see there being some mix up in the QB room. But
yeah, I mean,
I'm just speculating. I have no insider information.
No. I mean, ultimately, Wilcox is holding JKS for us, developing him, getting all his interceptions out of the way, and then as the big Duck fan that Justin Wilcox is, lifelong Duck, that'll be his final act as Cal's coach. Even though they're winning some games too. They almost choked away that UNC game.
He was here for a week and saw both those guys and was like, "I'm good." Left
exactly, and then he's exactly. You're right.
Like
You're right.
Marcus Mariota situation.
Another thing, Andy, I wanted to mention was this week on Pick'em, Dave mentioned something, and Peter, maybe you caught this, but he said he's a Michigan fan, and he said that if they were going to lose every game, every year they lose every game, but they beat Ohio, it was going to be he could live with that. And so that is one of the largest sports personalities in the world. Do not co-sign everything this man has ever said, Dave Portnoy has ever said. But it reminded me of a conversation you and I had on a very sad drive back from Vegas after watching Oregon lose to Washington in the Pac-12 title game, where I said something similar. I argued something similar that
You're both crazy.
Would we rather go 11-1 and lose to Washington every single year for the rest of time, or 1-11 every single year and the only win every year is Washington? Wouldn't that be pretty funny?
No, it would actually, you could have a very nice, we could have beat Indiana. We could have went undefeated, lose to Washington, who, they're not going to be in the playoff conversation. We're 11-1. Maybe we play in the Big Ten championship. Maybe we go on a run in the playoff. You can still win a natty by going 11-1 and losing to Washington. If you're 1-11, you're pretty sad. That's pretty tough.
One win against the national championship. All of those years for the rest of time. Every national championship for the rest of time. Those would get old. But the only thing you can never do is beat Washington. Wouldn't?
I think it'd be hilarious that Washington could beat us, but we'd still win the national championship. And they'd be like, "Oh, well, yeah, you guys lost to us." And it's like, who cares? We have 6 natties, you guys have 1.5 or however many it is.
And this also comes off the heels of, did you guys see that picture? I should have pulled it up here of Jed Fish's office.
Yeah, beat Oregon today.
Yeah, you tweet about it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Jed Fish's office. There is a sign that hold on. The Grateful Ducks uniforms just dropped. Hold on.
It's I think 4:00 kick.
4:00 kick. I'm just gonna share my screen here. This is live. We're doing this live.
Are they online?
They are online. Let me see. Can you guys see my screen?
No.
No? What the hell?
Oh my god.
Oh, there's a skull on the football.
There's a skull on. They have the duck, the Grateful Duck head on it too, on the side.
Oh, this Nike swoosh. Hold on.
They're tie-dye numbers.
Tie-dye numbers. The bear ducks are on the helmet. This is I couldn't think of something better to happen live on this podcast unless Andy said something super unless Andy were to say something super cancelable, then that might
said
be
you'd
better.
rather go 1-11 than, I mean, that's as bad.
Fair enough.
As whatever.
Fair enough. I'm trying to pull. Here we go. There's that one right there.
Nice.
The king with the steely with the lightning bolt swoosh. And then these ones with the tie-dye numbers. It's all blackout. It's nice that it's a 4:00 kick and we have the blackout because it'll be nighttime at the end. That'll be sick. It's also, this is like the nature of this game that we're talking about. The uniforms, which we talk about every week. The uniforms plus just like the Grateful Dead of it all, rather than anything about. We haven't named a single Wisconsin football player.
Danny O'Neill.
Danny O'Neill.
Yeah,
that's a Duck player.
No, he's one of their 3 quarterbacks.
Well, that's one of the greatest Duck quarterbacks of all time, Rose Bowl passing yards record holder, Danny O'Neill. But I do think that that's kind of emblematic of what we're dealing with this game. But this is all fun stuff. Oh, the O is tie-dye too. Again, like this, I love it, and it's insane that our 2 favorite things are colliding for something like this. It's luckily this uniform doesn't make me like immediately want to go to the Duck store and spend $130. But
already signed up for the jersey drop reminder.
You had the jersey drop reminder?
I just subscribed to get it. I don't know. We'll see. I already have a couple black ones. I kind of was hoping for different color, but
yeah,
it's like once in a, it's like one of these that they don't really drop again,
That's fair. And it's stuff like, and I'll pull this down, like this right here. It's kind of stuff that you're going to hold into a box for a long time. This is actually my late father-in-law's shirt. It's green and yellow tie-dye. I'm sure he bought it from a street vendor walking to the game one day at Autzen, and it's sat in a box for a long time. I'm wearing it. I wear it a lot, but it's such a cool little keepsake, and that's what it's good for us, especially Andy. We mentioned your daughter Lennon earlier in the show, and it's something kind of now we're kind of thinking about. AJ, you're also expecting, and it's something you can start to, maybe I got to put this in a box and hold on to this, because now I'm the one wearing, like, we're all wearing like old stuff. AJ, you got a keepsake jersey on, like from our cousin Paul, Michael's brother. And it's a lucky jersey. It's the one you stormed the field against Ohio last year. Took a selfie with Justice Lowe, and that's another thing. Like we mentioned, cousin Andy gets referenced a lot, mostly because we have fights like, would we rather go 1-11 or 11-1 against Washington, and Peter, and then AJ's been in the thumbnails. I use that selfie a lot as the sometimes for the images. Yep, the Justice Lowe Stormfield. That's sick. But I just really appreciate like being able to kind of share Ditch Rich and these kind of like the random pop culture thoughts that I have in my brain with everyone who likes to read, but also get to kind of share. Anyone who likes to read it kind of can become a character in it. Reference the conversations that we have throughout the week, and it's super fun, and I appreciate this platform. And yeah, does anyone have any other thoughts about what we think? Oh, yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes. AJ, do you want to maybe tell a story about this little tie-dye onesie? Because that's another one connection to the San Francisco at all.
Yeah, how do you pronounce it? You should probably pronounce
Arguello.
Arguello. It's the market in San Francisco that James has always claimed that invented the turkey sandwich. So both times we've gone there for Dead Company shows, we went onto the market, and last time I just told James we were expecting a baby, and he pointed out the onesie, and he's like, we have to tie-dye that. So we grabbed it, and then Peter was meeting us back at the house, and so I pulled this out and showed it, and he was like, oh, that's funny, like, nice. And then he kind of looked at him, he's like, oh shit, like, you have a baby, like, let's go. So
it's awesome.
Yeah, I just thought it was a bit at first because
yeah,
would have been a funny bit too.
It would have been a funny bit.
Yeah.
My wife Audrey just stuck her head in and said you have to analyze the Go Ducks post. Like there's something else in here, because I know that's the last little note I had here was there's been some rumors, most of them started by the four people in this podcast, that there's going to be something bigger, more than just tie-dye uniforms, more than just shoes and Nike merch, that multiple members of Dead & Company may be in attendance, or there might be some show tied to this. Obviously, like that would be kind of incredible. What do we think? Like, has John Mayer ever seen an Oregon Duck football game? Will this be his first? I'm trying to kind of look closely. I mean, I love this kind of tarp with the dead, the Steely dead behind Dante Moore here, and it said tied to history, died to match. That's a great line there. Oh, hold on. A friend of the Ducks is a friend of mine.
The Grateful Dead official Instagram also like reposted the uniform drop.
Yeah.
Okay.
The video is the first thing I saw. Is that what you're watching?
Okay. And Dante's listening to Touch of Grey.
Yeah, the audio, the caption they use over the video is the only thing that matters to Deadheads is that the Dead are back in town. So
I think they're going to be there.
That's from the Grateful Dead account, AJ.
And they're dying. I'm playing Touch of Grey here, but oh wow, Andy. So in this image here, I didn't notice. I thought this was like reflective. I'm so used to like reflective stuff. I didn't notice that that's like just truly green and yellow. Like that's yellow in there, not just a reflection of light.
The number.
Yeah. The Dead are back in Eugene. I mean,
they're coming
again. So that's what we, we've definitely been spreading rumors to anyone around us, saying, "Oh, I actually called the ticket office and I said, I asked him straight up, is Dead & Company coming to Eugene?" And I really don't think the guy understood what I was asking, but he's like, yeah, it's the Grateful Dead themed night. Like, yeah, they'll be there. And then I was like, oh shit. And then I hung up, but I don't think he knew like what he was really saying. I think for a while there, we wondered if there would be a show either on the Friday before or like later in the day, depending on when the kickoff was. But what do we think's gonna happen after all these little rumors, these little chirps?
I think Bob Weir acoustic set at World Pies. He's gonna shave his beard and dye his hair, so it's not gonna look like him, but it's gonna be him.
I like it. I
was looking and I didn't see any, like, I have this website that has all the different Oregon cover bands schedules throughout Oregon, and I didn't see any in Eugene, but I was just thinking like, oh, if like Garcia Birthday Band was playing at World Pies and like the same night, like how sick it would be to just be there, and then all of a sudden Bob and John and Oteil just walk up on stage and just play one song. It's not going to happen, but I'd probably try.
Jerry's Pickle is at Sam Bond's garage Saturday night. Little promo for Jerry's Pickle. Great young cover band we've seen a couple times, but maybe they'll sit in.
I don't actually think. I think that they're gonna come. Maybe the older guys like Bob and Mickey. I don't think Bill Kreutzmann is going to be there, so maybe just them two, and they'll probably just do something like a halftime, like celebrate them. I kind of think that's going to be it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
They'll play the Safeway. They'll be the contestants in the Safeway Shuffle.
That's great.
That would be awesome.
Ball's gonna say it's number 4. It's number 4.
I don't know. I think it'd be cool if they even just showed up. I mean, what other plenty of other schools and even professional organizations have Grateful Dead nights, but how many of them can lure Dead and Co to the game? So even if they just showed up in a box, hanging out with Phil, they showed him on the jumbotron, played Touch of Grey, or did a sing along. Which a little beef with the sing along. You're gonna show the lyrics. Keep the lyrics up there. Not everyone knows those songs you're playing. So if you want people to sing along, keep them up. Don't just play the first 10 words. So
yeah. Do we think the sing along is probably going to be Touch of Grey, right? Because I Will Survive, that. That's probably the sing alongable one. Unfortunately,
I mean, I don't know. I think it's the most sing alongable one, but they even last year they had Just Keep Trucking, that duck on the whatever side that is. So maybe they just keep the theme going and play Truckin', but I would Touch of Grey would be a good one. That's one people, even if you're not a Dead fan, probably recognize that song from somewhere.
Yeah, and it's cleaner to have a crowd sing that than the Transit of Nightfall of Diamonds, probably. So, all right, now we got final score predictions. What do we think? What do we think the Oregon-Wisconsin final score is going to be, Austin?
47-17.
Do you think that's probably about right?
No
idea. I think it's gonna be 19-72. In honor of Vanita 72. Pete.
45-12. Not a football number, but
not a football number. Andy, and give me first touchdown score, maybe.
Okay. 56-6. Wisconsin's last 27 drives: punt, interception, punt, end of game, punt, downs, punt, fumble. I'm not going to do the rest, but it's about the same. There's a field goal in there, and that's it. So not the most explosive offense. So yeah, what did I say? 56-6, something like that. First touchdown scorer, Jordan Davison.
That's great.
Plus 200.
Go.
Great.
Well, cool deal. I appreciate all 4 of you being willing to do this and wanting to talk about the Duck and the Dead, and Bill Walton there making an appearance in his tie-dye. He'll be Dollar Bill will definitely be there in spirit. His love of, even though he's a Bruin and a cheater,
the Duck, but he's a Duck.
he's a spiritual Duck. Like we said with the Dead, the Dead, his home is UCLA. His other home is San Diego. But if he had a third home, it's Eugene, Oregon. Mostly because of as Pat McAfee would say, the vitamins floating through the air in Eugene. But appreciate you all doing it. Can't wait to, Pete, you're coming up for the game. Everyone's coming out to the game. We're going to tailgate. We're going to have this tie-dye on the tablecloth, tie-dye at the tailgate, and we're going to take over whether Randy Voss wants us or not. We're taking over the music and playing Dead beginning to end. So yeah, appreciate you all doing it. Appreciate everyone for listening. Like I said, first ever Ditch Rich podcast, possibly last ever, but this is a lot of fun. Thank you fellas for doing this.
Yeah, go Ducks.
Thanks for having us. Go Ducks.
Keep on trucking.